my name is Clara, and I'm going to be walking you through the second violin part of Incantations. So just looking at this piece right off, you know that there are two sharps, F sharp and C sharp, and you're in 3/4 time. So whoever has the solo, I think one of the most important things throughout this whole piece is bow management. Regardless of whether it be short and staccato movements or long and flowy and expressive movements, I think just knowing what to use at what time is really important, whether that be like marking in your music or watching your section leaders if you're playing this with the orchestra. But yeah, okay, so for example, whoever has the solo, I think it's important to use kind of expressive vibrato here if you can. And just use as much bow as possible at this first part. So starting at measure 3. And counting is pretty important in that section. So at measure 12, when everyone comes in, you're at a mezzo forte, which is louder. I think especially here because if you're playing the D's here at measure from measure 12 to like end of 15, if you're playing those D's as open D's, you can use vibrato, second finger vibrato, and then third, and then second, and then second. Because you have like a break in between, so it's easier to play vibrato, in my opinion, when you have that. So for example, at 12. Or just something like that. Or if you're playing a fourth finger too, then I would suggest using vibrato on fourth finger, but I'm not very good at vibrato on fourth finger, so I struggle with that vibrato, but you can try it. I think this next part is pretty straightforward. At 28, you go from 3/4 to 4/4. Just make sure you're watching the conductor again if you're playing in an orchestra with this. And then you switch back to 3/4. And then the rest is pretty straightforward until you get to 43. When the tempo changes, make sure you're watching the conductor if you end up playing it in the orchestra, because I know things are kind of crazy right now. But I think one of the most important things, in my opinion, in orchestra is just kind of breathing as a section. And you can lead from any like chair placement in the section. Just kind of breathe together. When you come in, or just kind of keep time, tap your foot, or whatever you need to do to make sure you know like what the metronome is, even if one's not playing. So throughout this first page, the end of this first page, I just think counting is really important. And when you have those 16th notes, like at 50 and at 55 and 56, a way that I practice those is I'll play them as 8th notes. I'll just go, and I'll just play them 8th notes, but the right notes, because those are not the right notes. And then I'll slowly speed it up until I do double of each. So it's the same time. And a really cool, or a really helpful way of practicing is to, if you're trying to get it up to tempo, is just starting at a comfortable tempo and then going up a couple clicks each time, and then end up higher than the concert tempo, so that when you go back down to concert tempo, it seems a lot easier. Okay, so with that in mind, going on to the second page, this page, so you are at, hold on, 120. At this point, you switched over. So I think this part, so it's kind of fast. This part, it's kind of fast, so just, it's faster, so I think slow practice really helps with that. And I think for this part, you kind of want to be in the lower part of the bow to help with your articulation, or the lower, probably third or half. And the same thing with practicing all these 16th notes, just kind of break it down. And repetition is key in practicing. When you go to pizzicato at 87, what I do is I highlight literally everything in my music, whether it be dynamics or if it's like fingerings or bowings or whatever, and I highlight everything that's important so that when I play it, I don't skip over it. I think that's it. It's really helpful for me. Just like color coding, like piano for me is blue and then forte is red, and I just go based on that. I think that dynamics are really important in this piece, and you can express your dynamics through bow movement, through vibrato, just kind of moving with the music. Make sure you're watching your section leader for dynamics, or Mr. Smith or your conductor or whatever. So this part is the same. It's pretty similar to the second page on the third page. Same thing, if you're struggling with getting the 16th notes up to tempo, just break it down, do a measure at a time, or just play it as eighth notes. I do that a lot. And make sure you're looking ahead because the notes can change. In parts like these, I try and memorize them, or not, well, I don't try to, but I play them so much that eventually I'll memorize them, and it's so much easier, because if I get lost, I know where we are in the music. And I'm not saying to memorize the whole piece, just kind of know what each part sounds like before you play it, and know where you're supposed to be. So at 148, you go to 136, like metronome-wise, sorry. And you have accents are also really important in this. And I would highlight those at 151. Make sure, and 153, that last note, you just kind of want to play it pretty hard. And yeah, I think that's all there is to know about this. I just think repetitive practice and asking if you have any questions, whether it be like Mr. Smith or person in your section, I think it'll be great. Okay.